Thanks, Raj. Thanks for Marquee Equity as well to do this podcast. It's good to be part of this. So to give you a bit of a background, is I came to Australia in 1997 when I was 20 years old and came to become a pilot. From then on, I did a lot of multiple projects, jobs here and there in banking, etc. Eventually started my own business called Tiffins, which is the Dabbawala of Australia. 4 years later, I successfully failed in that business and then became a window cleaner. The window cleaning industry eventually got me understanding that, okay, high risk industry is pretty lucrative, but at the same time it's risk if you can manage really well. So I started my own business in 2013, which is High Clean. As in Australia, the risk and human life value is pretty high. So the risk management is pretty is full on. So I ended up looking for alternative options to reduce the risk for the business and myself, and started researching about drones. I researched in US, Brazil, UK, China, but they were all sort of very early on, rudimentary setup. They weren't fully viable product yet. 2022, KTV came up online, and they absolutely put out there. KTV is a 30-year-old window cleaning company, 10 years of research, and they put out a national franchise, system. Without even questioning it, I basically bought Australia straight away. We were, I think, number 5 in the world to buy it. So because I know from high risk industry, drones are coming, whether we like it or not. Hence how I introduced KTV Working Drone to Australia. And then I went to Norway last year to catch up with the team from KTV. Realized India was still up for grabs. So being Indian born, brought up in Mumbai, I thought, you know what, it doesn't get any better than this. So I ended up just buying KTV Drone India Master Franchise 2. So this is it. This is where we are now. So starting with KTV, that's the brand is designed by Kennet, who is the owner of the KTV Global, who is an innovator. So he's been very proactive in innovations. And then Working Drone, obviously it's a drone that does work rather than just having a drone that takes videos and photos, which still work, but this is literally like a working drone. So it's replacing humans to do the physical high risk work. What elements that is replaced? Obviously, it's not necessarily eliminating a whole industry of workers, but actually giving them a better chance to do something different and better for long term. Because as you know, cleaning windows and facade, majority of the time gets done by either people hanging off the ropes, which is abseiling, or on the machines that get slide down the side of the building, which is called BMU, building maintenance units. Either of them is high risk work. So obviously there's a lot of fatalities, a lot of incidents, accidents, deaths. It's a constant challenge. Liability is no longer just for the contractor, but it's also the owner of the company as well as the building owner as well. So KTV Working Drone, it eliminates that risk completely. You have a drone that cleans windows, facade, as well as the ledges and glass and everything, without having the requirement of human hanging off the building. So it definitely eliminates the risk. Of course, it's faster, so efficiency, very fast, and also this less disruption to your tenants. So for me, on paper, it is definitely a huge win. But in personal experience in Australia, we've done so many buildings, and one of our clients have actually had 98% of their risk completely removed. And that's quite a significant benefit for them. The speed, they increased efficiency by 75%, and disruption to the tenant was gone by reduced by 80%. So for them, this is a huge benefit, and India wouldn't be any different, because a lot of large corporates are looking to reduce their risk and speed up and make a better environment for their tenants. It does require experienced pilots. So you get them trained, drone pilots, which is the future of what the drone technology is. But that does not mean that the guys who are hanging off the building on the ropes cannot be trained to become drone pilots. Absolutely can, because it's not an option where they cannot get trained for that. So there is a human element that uses the drone to fly the drone up and down. In the first instance, that's the way KTV has introduced, where there is a pilot and a co-pilot or person that's spotter on the ground, making sure everything's okay, exclusion zones, and the drone gets manually up and down by the drone pilot that's on the ground using a remote controller. And that's how it's done. Automation is coming, There's a lot of changes coming with KTV in the coming years, but definitely at the moment, human elements required, but that's assuming you get rid of somebody hanging off the building, so that risk is completely gone. Give you an understanding of what's been coming in the future. So right now, obviously, drones are getting flown manually. However, in the next few months, which is already live in Norway and some other countries, but India will take a bit of time. The intention is that we would have an automation. So basically, there is a sensor on the drone. You can measure from when the drone gets lifted up. You fly to the one corner of a building, to the second corner, you measure and record that points, and then the drone automatically flies between that area, top to bottom, without a pilot doing anything, except pilot is just there as a default and a backup. So the whole drone cleaning with the Facade is become automated completely. The only difference is the pilot takes over if he wants to move to the other side of the building. So that's number one. Number two, the next stage of the upgrades coming in is inspection. So thermal imaging, for example, the same drone can go out and fly on top of the building that you're actually cleaning, and start monitoring the health of the building. So record some photos, videos, etc. And then not just that, but also compare with the previous report that the drone has done, and then measure it and say, okay, your building is actually, the crack on that building has gone from 5 mil to 7 mil. Now, that is almost impossible right now, except the human element constantly checking all the old and new photos. But that's the drone, potentially what AI will do with the drone. The third upgrade after that is going to be painting with the drone. So that is going to again revolutionize the whole painting industry. Right now, the cleaning industry is going through a massive change and accepting drone. Painting industry is also going to come through this in the next couple of years. I don't know how they will do it, because the innovators, technicians are back in Norway. My job is to basically deliver that service to the greater market. With regards to how it helps all the clients, etc., with regards to the benefit for them with the timing, well, if you think about it, your person hanging off the building can only do one drop at a time. And by the time they pack up downstairs, go back up, come back down, the time of setting up and pack up, it takes a long time. The drone comes in, half an hour set up, get going, and then you start washing the building. Once you start washing the building, one facade can be cleaned pretty quickly, one side of it. So there is a huge benefit of definitely to cleaning faster, as I can tell you. From my experience in one of our clients in Australia, the client's name is Goodman Group, very, very popular property owners group, a fantastic client, and we've just done a big project for them a couple of months ago. They've had a major reduction on disruption to tenants, but their speed, they got a project that usually would take them 3 months to do. They got it done in about 3 to 4 weeks. So that is a lot of reduction of time. Obviously, that impacts the cost a bit, but cost is not the major factor for a lot of this technology. It's not going to cost you more, but it won't definitely not reduce too much. But it's about trying to get a benefit of the speed as well as the risk reduction completely. So those are the things, if I can make it easier for the audience to understand how much benefit the drones are bringing to this economy. The drones, what happens is a couple of things that is impossible to change, which is the weather. If it rains too heavily, the drones can't be used because it's technology, it's got software, motherboards, etc. on it. Number two is the wind. If it's too high winds, the drones are not just sustainable for that, because obviously you're not going to get a good clean on that. When it comes to software and the connectivity and all that, it works really well because we haven't had any issue. One of the things where we've had experience with cleaning under the tunnels, which I don't see a lot happening in India at this stage anyway. But under the tunnels, there's GPS signal loss, etc. So that could have a bit of a challenge in cleaning the whole area. But on the outside, absolutely no issues whatsoever. When it comes to the drone in India, of course, we've got a mandate, so no importing drones from overseas, has to be made in India. And this is where I really want support from the Indian government to be able to, and also the investors in potential partnership, where we could bring that drone in from either Norway or maybe build something in India. Ideally, it would be great for exemption to bring that in India, so because it's such a unique technology. To build in India, yes, we can do that, but that's where I would need a big support from the government to be able to sustain this sort of revolutionary industry-changing technology. So India has a lot of scope, a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of benefit from the government as well as from the private sector, but it's basically can't be done as it's now just with bringing the drones from overseas. But I think India is not far away, and KTV is the only company that can actually deliver it, and we can show the proof of concept. Part of what we are doing, just so you understand, is we are launching this drone at a Clean India show, which is part of India launch, and that's happening on 21st, 22nd, 23rd November in Mumbai at Nesco Bombay Exhibition Centre in Goregaon. Important part to know is this is a concept that we will show live, cleaning the facade, cleaning up little display, fake kind of building area, so people come in. If they want to see the demo for free, you come to that event 21, 22, 23 November. I'll be there. My whole team will be there. Somebody from Norway is coming as well to train the team. To see that in action really makes a big difference. That's when I think that India will wake up and say, oh wow, this technology really does exist. How to go to the wider market? Well, that's where the support's required from the government to support an innovation such as this. So I can't talk too much about the painting component, but I can definitely give you a lot more information about the cleaning drone. Designed the way it is, it's obviously it's got quite a few contraptions that have been done in Norway, designed specifically for the drone to clean. So it does not carry a bucket or a tank or any other equipment as such, but it carries a hose. So the hose, basically, you've got a van on the ground which has got a pressure washing unit which is silent, and that pressure washing unit warms up, takes the water in from a building, warms up the water, heats up, and then basically pressurizes the water. That, and also purifies the water. That pressure basically goes all the way to the bottom of the actual of the drone on the ground where the pilot is standing, and from then on there is a foot pedal which allows the pilot to basically turn on and off the water. So from that foot pedal there is a drone hose, which is quite a small hose, about 120 meters high. It goes all the way up where the drone is, so the pilot will bring the drone up all the way to the building, and then put the foot down on the pedal, and then it will kick the actual pressure coming out of the drone. Now the pressure is about 2,500 psi, quite significant. It's hot water, so about 80 degrees of heat, and it's pure water. Purification of the deionized water completely eliminates all the spots that you left on the actual facade. So these three combinations actually do an amazing job of cleaning a facade and glass. So that's how the drone technically works in facade cleaning and window cleaning. With the painting, it's yet to come. Once again, as I said before, the guys are really designing their stuff. I'll come back to you once I've got some more information. I wanted to say thank you to yourself, Ashwath, and the Marquee team, and Manya and the team. Fantastic, great effort. I love working with you guys. Very switched on, very proactive. Obviously, part of the reason we connect with Marquee is look for potential investors to be part of the KTV journey. We've had a lot of requests to be part of the KTV team, but I need the right people on board, the right team on board. The intention is that we obviously partner up with them. The next 12 months goes into commercializing the whole of KTV India. End of 2025 is when we expect to commercially launch all over India, and having partnership with the DGCA to get approval in red zones, yellow, orange, and green zones, to be able to do the work all over without any challenges, because the drones is fully tethered. It cannot go up above the building, so the risk is almost negligible when it comes to having any issues with the drone. So the intention with Marquee is the podcast allows a lot of Marquee connections to get to know what we do and how we do it. So having the right partners on board makes a big difference, and hence why I'm here with Marquee. So thanks for doing this, and I really appreciate it.